Beginning, a princess marked for death. The Aurelian Empire stretched across 23 star systems, a glittering civilization known for elegance, Telos crystal architecture, and political ruthlessness sharper than any blade. Princess Serenia Vale had grown up amid ceremony and deception. Her golden eyes and luminescent skin marked her as a symbol of purity to her people, but symbols carried weight, especially when someone wanted them dead. 2 cycles earlier, her father, Emperor Valor, had refused an alliance with the Xyranth Dominion, a militaristic species hungry for expansion. The rejection didn't sit well. Now Serenia lived under the constant shadow of assassination attempts, poisoned garments, sabotaged gravlifts, even a plasma drone that malfunctioned directly above her balcony. The Aurelian High Council whispered that Serenia was too valuable, too inexperienced, too fragile to survive what was coming. So when the council announced the arrival of the Terran delegate for interstellar trade relations, Serenia didn't care. Humans were new, unpredictable, lesser species most thought, unrefined, barbaric, biological accidents. The council dismissed them almost entirely. But Serenia had read the reports, Earth's history, their stubborn survival against extinction, their bizarre physiology, their reputation for breaking diplomatic expectations. Humans didn't bend. They endured. She respected that. Still, she expected nothing from the incoming representative. Certainly not salvation. Certainly not him. The human arrives. The docking bay lights brightened as the Terran shuttle landed. Serenia, surrounded by guards and council members, waited with polite disinterest. The shuttle hissed open. Steam drifted across the polished floor. Out stepped Ambassador Marcus Reed. Tall, broad-shouldered, expression calm, though his eyes tracked every guard's weapon angle with practiced awareness. He bowed, not stiffly, but with quiet confidence. "Princess Serenia," he said, voice steady. "It's an honor." She blinked. Humans were not supposed to speak Aurelian fluently. His accent was there, warm, earthy, distinctly human, but his grammar was flawless. Many in the room exchanged uneasy glances. Counselor Zealer whispered to another, "Humans adapt too quickly." Serenia dismissed them. "Welcome to Aurelian Prime, Ambassador Reed." "Please," he said, "call me Marcus." This broke protocol entirely. Several counselors stiffened. But Serenia felt a strange smile tug at her lips. "Only if you call me Serenia." He nodded. "Seems fair." There was an ease in his demeanor, a refusal to be intimidated by ceremony. Unexpected. Refreshing. That evening, Reed met with Serenia privately to review the upcoming negotiations with the Xyranth Dominion. The humans, for reasons that confused the council, were deeply invested in stabilizing the region. "The Dominion won't negotiate in good faith," Serenia warned him. "They don't have to," Reed replied. "They just have to believe they're getting what they want." "And what do they want?" He looked up, eyes sharp as a blade. "You." She froze. "Me? You're the symbol of your empire's future. Removing you destabilizes the Aurelian succession, creates vulnerability, promises leverage." Serenia swallowed. "You speak as if you've studied them long before this assignment." "I have." He leaned back. Terrans study threats thoroughly. His tone was casual. His meaning was not. Serenia realized, with a curious flutter in her chest, that this human was not simply a diplomat. He was something far more dangerous. And far more necessary. The trap. Negotiations were scheduled on the crystalline plains of Luminara Station, a neutral ground favored for political dealings. Serenia traveled with Reed and a full royal security detachment. Xyranth Dominion Commander Vorkael awaited them with a smile that showed too many teeth. We are honored, Vorkael said, to meet the future ruler of Aurelian. Serenia's stomach clenched. This was no diplomatic greeting. It was a predator's appraisal. The talks began calmly. Trade routes, shared territory, military boundaries. Then Reed leaned in and whispered, "They're stalling." "I know," Serenia murmured. "But for what?" Before he could respond, 3 Dominion guards lunged. Not toward Reed. Toward her. Serenia gasped as one seized her arm. Another grabbed her throat. The third aimed a plasma blade directly at her heart. The room exploded into chaos. Aurelian guards shouted. Weapons clashed. Lights blazed. But Reed moved faster. Much faster. He grabbed the nearest attacker, twisting its arm behind its back with a sharp snap that made the creature screech. He dragged Serenia backward, shielding her with his own body. "Stay behind me," he barked. Serenia's tendrils froze in shock. You're bleeding." "Doesn't matter." He surged forward, intercepting another attacker with a brutal shoulder strike. The alien stumbled, and Reed slammed a fist into its jaw, twice dropping it. Serenia stared at him, stunned. His knuckles were torn. Blood dripped down his wrist. But he didn't slow, didn't hesitate, didn't fear. "Why your hand?" she stammered. "It's fine," he growled. "Humans don't break easy." He grabbed her wrist again, pulling her toward the exit. But the Dominion had prepared for that. The doors sealed. Commander Vorkael rose from his seat, mandibles opening in triumph. "You were correct, Princess," he hissed. "These talks were never about peace." Reed stepped in front of her fully, bloodied and breathing hard. "You'll have to go through me." Vorkael laughed. "Gladly." He charged. Reed didn't flinch. He stepped into the attack, grabbed Vorkael's arm, and twisted, hard. Bone cracked. Vorkael roared. But the alien was massive, nearly twice Reed's weight. He recovered and struck Reed across the chest, sending him skidding backward across the floor. Serenia screamed, "Marcus." He coughed, wiped blood from his mouth, and grinned. "That all you've got?" Vorkael snarled and lunged again. Reed sidestepped and grabbed the alien's mandibles, slamming its head into the crystalline wall. Vorkael fell, unconscious. Silence followed. Serenia stood trembling, staring at Reed. At his torn uniform, his bloodied arm, his shaking fingers. "Marcus," she whispered. He looked at her, exhausted but alive. "You okay?" Her eyes glistened. "You saved me." He shrugged. "That's my job." "No," she said softly, stepping closer. "It's more than that. Middle, the deal that shouldn't exist." Hours later, they returned to Aurelian Prime. The Dominion's attempted assassination had sparked outrage across the Empire. The High Council debated retaliation. Some demanded war. Some demanded sanctions. But Reed demanded something else. "Call the Dominion back," he told them. "We're finishing the negotiation. They just tried to murder our princess." Counselor Varen shouted. "You expect us to sit at a table with them?" "Yes," Reed said calmly, "because fear makes people reckless. But opportunity? Opportunity makes them predictable." Serenia frowned. "Marcus, what are you planning?" "A deal they can't refuse." The council hesitated, and then, astonishingly, they agreed. The next day, the Dominion representatives returned. Without Vorkael, Reed stood at the negotiation table, not behind Serenia, but beside her. Dominion envoy Track glared. "You should have executed Vorkael." Serenia answered coldly, "We are not murderers." Reed leaned forward. "But we are prepared." Track narrowed his eyes. "What is the human offer?" Reed placed a data slate onto the table. "A contract. A treaty. A guarantee." A deal. One that shifted the balance of power entirely. Serena read it and gasped. Marcus, this gives the Dominion full economic access to Terran trade hubs. They want influence, Reed said. This gives it to them. But in exchange, Serena whispered, they must recognize Aurelian sovereignty and withdraw all military forces bordering our territory. And, Reed added with a small smile, they sign a clause requiring all diplomatic interactions with Aurelian to go through Terran oversight. Track froze. This wasn't a peace treaty. It was a leash. Silken. Beautiful. Unbreakable. This deal, Track said slowly, would reshape the quadrant. Reed nodded. It benefits both sides. You gain what you want, and we ensure the princess lives long enough to rule. Serena felt heat rise to her face. The envoy glared. Why protect her? She is not human. Reed answered without hesitation. Because she matters. The Dominion delegation whispered among themselves. Track finally extended a clawed hand. Ambassador Reed, the Dominion accepts. The counselor's jaws dropped. Serena exhaled shakily. Reed picked up the stylus. Signed. Then handed it to Serena. Your signature makes it law. With trembling fingers, she signed. The Dominion delegation left peacefully. The war was over before it began, and it was because of a human, a single human, ending what he didn't let her say. The celebration banquet lasted hours, but Reed escaped halfway through, claiming too much ceremony makes his skin itch. Serena found him on the moonlit balcony, overlooking the Aurelian capital. His injured hand was wrapped, but he flexed it experimentally. Does it still hurt? She asked softly. Only when I use it, he said. And when I don't use it. And when someone mentions it. She laughed, a bright, melodic sound she rarely allowed herself. He smiled. Glad I can make you laugh after all that. Her expression shifted, growing serious. You didn't just negotiate a treaty today, she said. You saved my life. You signed away pieces of your own nation's influence to protect mine. Why? He shrugged. Because the galaxy already expected you to die. And I don't like doing what tyrants expect. That's not an answer. He met her gaze slowly, deliberately. Because you matter, he said again, voice softer now. Not just to your empire. To me. Her hearts pounded. The wind carried strands of her silver hair across her face. Reed reached up, hesitated, and gently brushed them aside. Her breath caught. Nobody, she whispered, has ever put themselves between me and death the way you did. Get used to it, he murmured. I plan on sticking around. She swallowed hard. Marcus, if you remain here, you become a political target. They will come for you. They already did, he said. I'm still standing. She stepped closer, barely a breath away. You are impossible. He grinned. Humans specialize in impossible. They stood there as the palace lights flickered like distant stars. Serena placed her hand on his chest, a gesture of deep trust among her people. Reed covered her hand with his own. No ceremony, no politics, just honesty. I fear for you, she whispered. Then don't look away, he said. Stay with me. She let out a trembling exhale. Always. Below them, the city glittered. Above them, the stars burned bright. And somewhere across the galaxy, the Dominion began adjusting to a new reality. They had expected a princess to perish. Instead, a human signed the deal. A human protected her. And a human changed the fate of empires. Not with armies. Not with weapons. But with resilience. With defiance. And with a resolve the galaxy had never seen before.